Hey, it's Nicole with Greg with their coaching, and I'm here in Ohio. I just got in town because Greg is gearing up for the Little Brown Jug, which has been his lifelong dream. So I wanted to sit down with Greg and discuss with him a little bit about his feelings going into this, his thought process. Obviously, those of you who've been following Greg for a while know that this has been a goal since he is a child. So this is huge. Greg, how are you feeling about this today?
Pretty good so far. So this is today is the day before everything starts. The jugette is tomorrow, which is Wednesday, and then the jug is on Thursday. So I have one in both. One is for the girls, and then the big race is for the boys, which is the jug. Been a little nervous. Lots of sleepless nights and making sure everything's okay and that type of thing. But I'm excited for it.
And just so everybody knows, I mean, everybody's pretty familiar with the Kentucky Derby and jockey style racing. So maybe just for the audience perspective, let everybody know like what you've been doing your whole life with what's called harness racing.
Yeah, so we have trotters and pacers. So they're standard-bred racehorses. They don't gallop; they trot or pace. And I got involved with it when I was 12 years old. My grandfather got me involved, and I was a bad kid. I went to 13 schools in 8 years. And my grandpa said, you know, we just got to get you competitive in something else instead of the things you're doing out there. So I fell in love with harness racing, and it allowed me to I realize the better that I do with my horses, the better they do for me. The more you give them, the more they give you. So it really allowed me to try and compete on a higher level with something for good. So I always like this side of it because the other race horses, the thoroughbreds, they have injuries and that type of thing. We don't really have that with ours. So we race ours for years and years, and they love what they do, and just kind of a different industry. So the big race for us, much like the Kentucky Derby, is the Little Brown Jug. It happens to be in Ohio, which is where I'm from, so it's the big race for the Ohio guys as well. And it's usually the third Thursday in September every year. And this year, I finally got a horse in it.
Few horses in some of the other smaller races during the race week itself. But in the jugette you mentioned is for the females and the jug is for the male horses. So Tara Pasta is your horse in the jugette, and she recently just had a big win too, right?
Yeah, she just won the championship for the state of Ohio, $300,000 race, and raced in very good fashion. She came from dead last to win the race. So we've kept her staked up to the jugette and have always wanted to be in it and decided to go ahead and put her in. So she is in tomorrow. And the way the jugette and the jug works is they have elimination races, and the top four from the girls' race goes into a final just a couple of hours later. With the boys, there's more of them, so just the top three go to the final. So we actually race twice in one day, but whoever wins the last one is the champion.
And then Thursday is the big race for the brown jug, and we have Burnout in that one. So how old's Burnout? Tell us a little bit about him and how he got to be in this.
Yeah, so the Little Brown Jug, just as the Jugette, the Little Brown Jug is for 3-year-old colt pacers, which obviously he is. And he's had a pretty good year. He finished second in the championship last week for $300,000, so he picked up 75 grand. And he was not staked to the Little Brown Jug. But I've always wanted to be in it, and I've said all year long, if he races really well, I'll supplement him in. I have to pay an extra $45,000 to put the horse into the race, and always said that I would. And just like every single year for the last 30 some years, I've been trying to get a horse in, and something happens. They don't turn out well, they get sick, they get hurt, whatever. Sure enough, it happened to Burnout too. So he raced really, really good. I'm thinking about supplementing him to the race, and 4 days before the supplement is due, he has a sore foot and all kinds of problems with it. And he's nowhere near sound enough to race or anything like that. So we're working on him. And the morning that it was due, this Saturday, it was due at 10 o'clock in the morning. I got to the barn at 8 a.m. and he had an abscess in his foot and it popped out. He was 100% sound. So I said, we're going. So I raced up to the racetrack in Delaware, Ohio, and wrote the check for $45,000, and we're in to go.
So that was a last minute miracle to get him in, and obviously make one of your lifelong dreams come true. So that's super exciting. And those of you watching this, Greg has a lot of businesses. You know us from Greg Nuther Coaching, where he coaches real estate agents nationwide on their sales and marketing, literally sea to shining sea. But also he has Greg Luther Racing and Luther Equestrian. So he has a whole other side of businesses that a lot of you watching this are privy to. But we want to kind of just report the behind the scenes leading up. I'm not sure when this will post because obviously we're very busy tomorrow and Thursday. So part of our Greg Luther coaching team is here, and the rest of the team is rooting for Greg behind the scenes.
Yeah, this is the start. I mean, I don't think either one of them is favored by any means. Their Terra Pasta probably has a better chance than Burnout. Everybody always says you never pay the money to supplement a horse unless you know you're going to win, because it just doesn't make sense financially. I'm not doing this for finances. I'm doing it to race, not to win. So, my brother trains my horses. We're able to do it as a family and enjoy the ride. My phone's been blowing up, my email's been blowing up. Just everybody's excited. We finally got one in. So, I'm holding it together so far. Not so much when I'm by myself. When I went to supplement the horse, on the way up there, I literally had to stay in my car with the windows down for my shirt to dry because I was crying the entire time to finally get there. This is truly the toughest thing I've ever done, and it's the most accomplished I've felt thus far to do what I've had to do to get to this point. I mean, this is, they always say it's a once in a lifetime experience. That's certainly not the case because more than 99% of the people never get to experience it once. So it's far, far less than once in a lifetime. Very few people ever get to experience it. So it's a big deal for horsemen, people that are passionate about the sport. It's a big deal. And I don't think we'll win. So I certainly hope we do. But just being in the race and being in that atmosphere and having all of your competitors finally support you for once. They don't have anything in there, so they want me to do well. And, we're just enjoying the ride. We'll see what happens here. And I've got some interviews I'm doing tomorrow as well as Thursday. Hopefully I can hold it together, but I don't think I'm going to be able to because this is just talking business here. When we start getting to the emotional side of the horses, I think it's going to be a little different. So
That's all right.
more to come. Yep.
Well, thanks for sitting down with us again behind the scenes, guys, of what we have going on. We're super excited. So please send all of your good thoughts and well wishes to Greg from behind the scenes. And hopefully we'll have some great news to follow up with you. We'll have some footage and some B-roll we're going to be doing live from the event. So it'll be good.
All right. Thank you.